welcome to Let's Chat. I'm your host, Valerie Costa, and today we're talking to Executive Director Sandra Barrington from the Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you for having me today. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you, and welcome to you. And I am so excited because the Hospital Foundation does so much for our community, and we would be lost without it. We see a lot of rural hospitals closing throughout the country, and you are going strong thanks in large part to the foundation. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how the foundation began and what your mission is?
Yeah, thank you. The foundation actually started in May of 1984. So we are celebrating our 40th anniversary very soon. And it really started because there was a concerned group of citizens that thought we need to make sure that this hospital stays in our community. And they, the hospital started with philanthropy back in 1958. The community really came together. The land the hospital is on was donated. The community raised money for the original building of the hospital. So it really has always been a philanthropic community effort. But in the early 80s, a group came together and said, we need to create a foundation that is going to make sure that there is, philanthropy in perpetuity. So they started a small endowment, and then it became clear after a few years that they needed to raise money for the current year needs of the hospital, to update technology, to expand buildings, and create more health programs for the community. And it really took off, obviously. 40 years later, we are going strong. We raise anywhere from $1.5 to $2 million a year for the hospital. We have an amazing staff, professional fundraising staff, and we have a board of about 20 board members.
Wow, that's a big board.
It is a very big board, and they are all actively engaged out in the community. We have great relationships with, the medical community, with the physicians, with the hospital employees, obviously, and the hospital administration, and our local hospital board, that is a local governing board of local community members, and a great relationship to make sure that that strategic vision to keep the hospital in our community, keep it strong, keep it advanced in technology, is going on in perpetuity, because this is what we call an infinite game. It is an infinite game. This is ongoing, and our goal is to make sure the hospital is always here and always strong and always providing the healthcare needs for the community.
And that is so important to have that, because otherwise we'd be driving to, Auburn at the closest, but it is so important and wonderful to have that service right here. And it's a beautiful hospital. I've used it myself when I gave birth to my son and, getting, stuff. But so you mentioned that you raise $1 to $2 million a year, which is incredibly impressive. What do you do with that money? I'm sure that it varies from year to year, but give me some highlights, some of the things that...
Yeah, so over the years, it's one of our bigger projects in the 90s was the outpatient center and the cancer center, which the cancer center is incredible for this community. Talk about not having to go out of the area for care. Cancer care is one of those things where you want to be local. You want to be with your network. You want to be with your friends and family. And when you're that sick, driving an hour, sometimes every day, so our cancer center is, full scope. We raise a lot of money for the cancer center every year. We implemented the diagnostic imaging center. That was around 2005, 2006. So that, women's imaging, X-ray, MRI, CT scan, that really brought the hospital into a new age of technology, I would say. We also do a lot with the emergency department. Several years ago, there was a big transformation of the emergency department, and we added several beds, some more privacy, some more safety and security, brought in a second MRI. For a long time, our community only had one MRI, and that project brought in a second one for the community. And then we have our partners at Insight Imaging that also do that type of work. So our community's gone from very little, technology, low tech, and just in the last, 20-something years, we've really grown in that healthcare technology to make sure people can stay here.
Yeah, and you're right. When you're suffering from a severe anything, you don't want to have to drive, because maybe you don't have someone to do that. It's really important to be able to do that locally.
And when we're picking projects, that's really what we're looking at. What's going to keep people close to home? Because I do worry about those people that don't have the network, that don't have the support, that don't have the means, that putting extra money in their car for gas to drive down the hill is a stretch
Yeah.
So as much as we can keep people local for their care, those are the projects we're going to choose. Keeping people local for surgeries, for cancer care, for family birth center, having your babies at our hospital. I had my baby at the hospital too.
Yeah. And it was a wonderful experience. Everyone was so kind. It's just so welcoming, and it was a great experience. So I remember I wrote an article years ago about the robot.
Oh, yes.
And so when you're talking about like bringing us up to like the 21st century technology, I immediately thought of that. And I believe that was something that was funded by the foundation.
Yeah, actually we started with the first telemedicine robot. We had a campaign called the Stroke of Luck campaign. And it was to create a nationally accredited primary stroke center and to bring in telemedicine for neurology, because neurology is a very difficult specialty to keep in a rural community, and to have a full-time neurologist for our population is unfortunately not feasible. But having telemedicine means we can connect to specialists anytime, anywhere. So having that telemedicine robot in the emergency department for when there is a stroke alert and they need to connect to a neurologist, or even for behavioral health and psychiatry. We can connect to cardiologists. And then in the intensive care unit, in the ICU, we have a robot that can connect to specialists and internists to collaborate with the physicians and the staff in the ICU when that's really needed. So having that access to specialists from all over the area that we can connect with. So the telemedicine robots are really cool.
They are, and they really made me think of like the Jetsons. I'm still waiting for Rosie, my house cleaning robot, but we have like whatever his name is, the telemedicine robot, which is probably more important.
They named him Ion.
Ion, oh,
So
that's
like
a great
Ion
name.
You,
Yes,
or like
I
an
love
Ion.
It. Yeah, that's a very clever name. So how does the foundation raise the funds to do these wonderful things in the community?
Yeah, we live in a really amazing community. People are so dedicated to our nonprofits and doing everything we can to keep our community really robust in the services. So first of all, we're just grateful that we have, so many amazing donors. But we work with individual donors. We work with a lot of the businesses and corporations that are local. They're very generous. We also have a pretty robust grants program, so we do a lot of grant writing for various programs. And we're very well known for our events. That's definitely something people know us for.
So tell me about your events.
Yeah, so every year we host a Martinis and a movie. That's one of my favorites. We pick a fun movie. We are at the Del Oro Theater. There's martinis. And we have like a little happy hour and some snacks, popcorn and candy. And it's usually a fun classic. You'll hear people singing along if there's a song or knowing the words, and it's really fun when people are like quoting and laughing and what's coming next. So that's a really fun event, and it usually funds whatever our current focus is on the year. We also do a golf tournament in the first Monday in June, and that's really popular with our hospital vendors and a lot of our corporate sponsors. And that's been a very popular tournament. It usually sells out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every year. And it's really fun day out. Just, you're in the sun, you're having a good time, loving a round of golf. And we host Starry Nights. Traditionally in the past, we've done it at the Empire Mine, but moving forward in 2024, it's going to be at the fairgrounds.
Oh.
So we're very excited to reinvigorate that event and bring it back. Everyone wears all white, and there's dancing and dessert and, just a really great meal and a lot of support for the community hospital.
I've always thought, like, people drinking red wine and wearing white, there must be some, like, stains by the end of the evening.
There are some accidents. I keep a Tide-to-Go whiteout pen in my purse.
Aren't you smart?
Because there's also chocolate usually,
oh
too.
my gosh,
So
yes.
There's a lot of opportunities,
Yes,
too.
as the mother of a 7-year-old, I never wear white. So.
I have a 9-year-old, yeah.
Oh, yes, so you know. So you had mentioned the different focus every year. What is your current focus?
We're really focused on the Sierra Nevada Family Medicine Residency Program. I think we all know that finding a primary care physician in a rural community is very challenging. And the more we can bring primary care physicians into our community and create that pipeline and get them to stay here. So that's the trick with that program, is that if we build the program here and they train here, they're more likely to stay here. So we're launching that program this year. Very excited about that. It's been many years in the making. It's specific to family practice, and it is a partnership between Chappaday, Methodist Hospital in Sacramento, and Sierra Nevada.
Oh, great.
So they'll rotate between Methodist. They'll primarily work out of Chappaday under Dr. Glenn Gukin and have some rotations in the hospital and with some other specialists. And it's a 3-year program. So hopefully by the end of 3 years, they will choose to set up shop and practice here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because yes, it takes a little while when you first moved here to like really integrate into the community. But 3 years is right about when you start to hit your stride and like start building your group of friends. And yeah, I think that's really smart.
Yeah, we've also been really focused on our surgery department and making that really robust, making sure the surgeons have all the tools they need, that they can do as many surgeries locally as possible, especially emergency surgeries. I mean, we do almost 900 emergency surgeries a year.
Wow.
So when you think about you have an appendix or fall and break a hip, things that are emergent, you know, our hospital is where you're going to go. And so we want to make sure that that is the most robust surgery center that you can go to.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And stay for your orthopedics, you know, even the electives, you know, so building that up so people can have their electives locally as well.
Because we have a big retirement population, I imagine that is something that is very much needed in the area.
Yeah, definitely.
What can people in our community do that aren't, you know, the giant corporate sponsors and like the business owners, but I'm sure that there are plenty of, you know, average people who would love to help out in any way they can because they're grateful for the services of the hospital. What can the average Joe do to help you out?
Yeah, well, you use the word grateful. And, you know, we do have a grateful patient program. So if someone's had a good experience and they want to share that, please share it far and wide and help with that, because voices in the community of how wonderful our hospital is so important. And then if you want to share your story through our marketing efforts with our donor family, we have a way of doing that as well. So you can contact our office, and we have testimonials that we put out. And a lot of times for people too, it's part of their healing journey, especially for something like a cancer diagnosis or like a cardiac trauma or something like that. You know, giving back as part of the healing journey and showing that gratitude to the caregivers. And I can't tell you how much it means to the physicians and the nurses when they get those testimonials and they hear that someone's made a gift in their honor or someone's said nice things about them. You know, it's really important for the staff too. It helps them keep our mission-based work, you know, focused on that mission.
That's wonderful because, yes, I know just from existing on this earth that people love to complain, but they don't always take the time to go the other way with that. I always try to, so I love that. I wish I had known about that. I might still. I mean, it's been 7 years. There's no statute of limitations to write a grateful post about your great experience, right? Because hopefully I won't have to use the hospital again for a while.
Well, it's funny. That's what I always tell people. It's here if you need it, but I don't want to see you there, unless it's maybe for a baby.
Yes, that's a happy occasion to be at the hospital. So if people want to learn more, where can they go?
Yeah, we have a really robust social media program, so you can look us up on Facebook or Instagram. Also, our website is supportsierranevada.org. We have all kinds of information there, but I'm always available by phone, so people can call our office.
Okay.
And that's 530-477-9700. And you'll get a warm, friendly voice on the other end when you call.
Oh, that's wonderful. Not an automated
No, we are not
thing.
automated, no.
That's nice. That happens all the time now. And is there anything else that people should know about the Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation?
Well, you know, it's nonprofit rural healthcare is so important, and making sure that our community has the most robust health services possible, because we couldn't have a thriving community without a thriving healthcare system. So as much as you can support that locally, and any ideas and ways to give back, we are open to that, and we're just thankful for the community for all their support.
Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today, Sandra. I really appreciate it. And if you are interested in learning more, please visit, say that website again?
supportsierranevada.org.
supportsierranevada.org, or call the office. Apparently you'll get a friendly person on the phone and share your experiences and ideas with them. They'll appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here today. And we will see you in the next episode of Let's Chat.